finding voter support and growing public frustration over service delivery. But the big question remains, is it too little too late when it comes to the African National Congress? What they promised they're going to do, the turnaround strategy, especially when it comes to local government elections. The party support, I think we've all seen the numbers, has already dropped below 50%. This was in the recent general elections with major metros like Johannesburg and Tshwane becoming very, very key battlegrounds that the ANC is seemingly losing a grip on. We're now joined, and I think this is going to be a very, very important conversation, I think, for all of us as we try and decode and understand all of the political parties that we should be voting for as we head over to the local government elections. We'll be joined by local governance expert, Professor Sam Koma, very good friend of the show, is going to help us unpack whether this new strategy by the ANC can earn realistically good results. Is it a turnaround strategy that they can look at and say, well, there might be something here? Prof, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure. Welcome to News and Views.
Yes, morning, Slilo. Thanks for the opportunity.
And I think we'll jump right into it. I'm sure you took a look at the ANC's turnaround strategy. For you, what stands out to you about their emerging electoral strategy ahead of the 2026 local government elections? It's a party that is in deep trouble, but from the outside, it almost feels like it hasn't clicked to them that you guys are in deep trouble, and the local government elections of this year might be the final nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yes, Lalo. My sense is that the DA's announcement of its mayoral candidate, that is Helen Zille, plus Action SA's announcement of Herman Mashaba as its mayoral candidate for the city of Joburg, has caused the ANC to rethink its electoral or election strategy for the upcoming local government elections. And I think the other fact that we need to also take into account is that, and which is undisputable, is that since the departure of Pax Tau in the city of Joburg, who was representing the ANC as a councillor and previously having served as a mayor, the ANC has not had that luxury of having a leader who matches the leadership capability and caliber of Pax Tau. So, for example, with the election of Dada Morero representing the ANC in August 2024, he has faced several motions of no confidence. And most of the political parties that have tabled the motion of no confidence against Dada Morero have cited issues around, for example, financial management crisis facing the city, dysfunctional infrastructure in the form of your traffic lights, your potholes, and also the whole issue of water supply crisis. So when the ANC looks at its internal pool of members and leaders, now they've realized that they may have to deploy someone from national who, of course, can match the capability and caliber of the likes of Helen Zille and also Herman Mashaba. So I think this is what we are now settled with, yeah.
And my next question is going to be on Johannesburg and a name that could match someone of Helen Zille, Herman Mashaba. Helen Zille obviously being the one that looks like she's going full steam ahead when it comes to campaigning for the top job in Johannesburg, and there seems to be a renewed focus from the ANC on strong metro leadership. You mentioned Dada Morero. We know the controversies around him and whether or not the party still wants him around. It's a question mark on that. You have Loyiso Masuku also, who's in the picture. But there doesn't seem to be a straightforward name, even from national, that we can point to that this is probably someone that the ANC can put their name forward. Johannesburg specifically, because it's a very, very important metro, how do you analyze their strategy going forward? You mentioned that looking at someone from national, are they names perhaps that you think the ANC can put forward?
Yes, thanks for that. So the only name I can think of is that of Pax Tau, because
Mm-hmm.
Parkstown has the track record and the experience of having served in the city of Joburg. Other than Parkstown, I can't think of any other candidate coming from the national government in this instance, or serving as a member of parliament, who the ANC may consider deploying as a mayoral candidate to then match the campaigns of the DA and Action SA. And I also want to point out that if you look at the DA's mayoral candidate, that is Helen Zille, she already has a first mover advantage because she has been to the townships as part of launching their electoral campaign, and also she's been to various platforms where she's able to articulate the vision and also the strategy she has, if given an opportunity by the voters of the city of Joburg come the local government election. So the ANC will have to be very quick in how it
Mm,
proceeds to select a leader who fits the purpose, who has what it takes to turn around the situation of the city of Joburg, but very importantly, who can then reclaim the electoral majority of the ANC, which has lost. You remember in 2021 local government elections, the ANC recorded a mere 34% electoral outcome. So you need a candidate who can then assist the ANC in terms of reclaiming the lost ground, and also potentially ensuring that the ANC is able to gain some sizable voter outcome, and also electoral outcome come the upcoming local government elections.
mm. You mentioned something very, very important, hitting the ground running. This is something that we saw Helen Zille do very, very well. Her face is all over social media. She's all over, television and radio. The ANC, as the ones that are essentially running Johannesburg right now still have not put a name forward. Do you think this might hurt them in the long run when campaign season is finally up and running? People already have familiarized themselves with personalities, names, and parties that they possibly could be voting for, and the ANC is coming last. And is it the first time we're seeing something like this from the ANC? Traditionally, do they come out so late when it comes to naming their candidates, especially for top metros like Tshwane, like Johannesburg, and so forth?
Yes, Lalo, but the landscape has changed. Yes,
Mm,
previously they had the luxury of launching their election campaign towards the end of the period of the election in the context of local government elections. You remember in the past, they used to announce the mayoral candidate following the conclusion of the elections. But now
yes.
these other parties have learned that no, no, no. You need to announce your mayoral candidate and start early with your campaign in terms of your election strategy, and also articulating a clear-cut vision for that specific metro or municipality. But I want to also mention that I think the ANC must rid itself of factionalism, especially in the context of the city of Joburg. You can see that 2 weeks ago already there was a leaked report that the Regional Executive Committee, under the leadership of Ms. Masuku, intended to recall Dada Morero. But now we
Mm,
have learned in the last few days that no, no, no. What we did as the Regional Executive Committee was to assess the performance of Dada Morero, and we are happy with what he has delivered so far. But we know that the ANC is not really happy with the performance of the party in the city of Joburg, and the stakes are very high in the city of Joburg, in the sense that it is a city that manages a budget of over 90 billion rands. It is the economic hub of the country. However, in the recent past, it has faced serious institutional decline and challenges, and I think they are worried about that particular part, more so because they have to prepare for the upcoming local government elections, and they are not sure that they will be able to garner the necessary electoral support to reclaim their majority and continue to have a say influence and control over the resources of the city.
Prof, I want us to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want us to focus on what the ANC should be doing differently if it wants to regain dominance at local level. And is the priority for them right now being in government or staying in government, or regrouping and trying to, I don't know, look for, I don't know, the next local government elections and staying put and trying to fix those internal divisions that have unfortunately hurt the party. But we'll unpack on that after a short break.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying, or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
When disaster strikes, families lose everything in an instant. Homes destroyed, communities displaced. Hope fades into uncertainty. Our Global Emergency Fund ensures we respond without delay, delivering food, water, shelter, and healthcare to families in need. To support our Global Emergency Fund, visit islamicrelief.org.za.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views. Myself, Salah Makwidi. The time is 28 minutes past 8 Central African time. And we're still in conversation with local governance expert, Professor Sam Koma. And we're looking at the African National Congress leading up to the local government elections 2026. And they've presented a new turnaround strategy to try and win back your vote. And me and Prof have been just dissecting it and looking at whether or not this could be the answer to some of the woes that the ANC has been facing in recent times, especially when it comes to your vote, which they've seemingly lost in the big metros. Prof, thank you so much for staying with us. Before we went to the break, I wanted to chat briefly about the focus for the ANC right now. What do they need to do differently? Should the focus be staying in power or regrouping and giving the voters a newer, fresher version of the ANC that people can have confidence in and vote back in numbers instead of latching on to these coalitions, which I know they're reality in South African politics right now, but ANC is used to being a majority government.
Yes, Slado. So we've always said that the ANC has to get its cadre deployment strategy right by deploying people with the right skills, capabilities, the experience to run these metros, including, of course, your local government, your local municipalities at the political level, deploying these experienced, capable councillors who then, some of course, they will serve as speakers, some will serve as the mayors of these municipalities, but also ensuring that the people who are appointed at the city manager rank or level also have what it takes to ensure that service delivery is provided uninterrupted, but also ensuring that there is efficiency and effectiveness in how they proceed to implement infrastructure projects, which largely deals with issues of water supply, electricity, and of course other basic amenities, and of course ensuring that there is that capacity to spend capital budget that gets allocated to these municipalities. Of course, this is the funding that gets allocated by the National Treasury. So if they ensure these basics, I think the ANC may be able to reclaim its lost ground because it will be able to restore public confidence and trust among ordinary members of the public, and ensuring the whole issue of accountability and consequence management, that you cannot have a culture of impunity among officials, among these councillors deployed by the very same party. And we've seen with what the city of Tshwane has done last week around the officials implicated in the Madlanga Commission. You can see that they were swift in the action they've taken to suspend the implicated officials and allowing them, of course, to present their side of the story through an internal due process. We want to see the same within the context of the ANC.
Lastly, before I let you go, Prof, from an ANC's perspective, just looking at the state of the party right now and how bad things are, what do you think they would consider a victory after the 2026 local government elections?
Yes, I think the other reality, Sililo, we also have to mention is that the electoral landscape in the country points to coalition arrangement reality. So if you take the three metros in Gauteng, the city of Joburg, the city of Ekurhuleni, city of Tshwane, potentially come the electoral results of the local government elections, my sense is that they will still be besetted with this coalition reality. But now you can see there's a bit of maturity that has since come through in some of these metros that are within the coalition arrangement. We no longer have these erratic motions of no confidence against the speaker, against the city mayor. There seems to have at least experimented with this coalition arrangement. And I think the sooner Parliament finalizes the coalition bill, the better, because it will then enable these political parties, come the outcomes of these local government elections, to be able to ensure that they are able to cobble up a coalition arrangement that best serves the interests, the needs of the ordinary voters.
There you go, Professor Sam Koma, local governance expert. I have a feeling you and I are going to be chatting a lot as the local government elections are fast coming towards us, fast approaching. But we're going to leave it here for now. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
There we go. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. News and Views continues after this with our hashtag Africa Focus feature.